There's a famous idea from the Baal Shem Tov. We know the concept of divine providence. But the Baal Shem Tov says divine providence is not limited to human beings. It's everything in this world. It goes so far that if a leaf turns over because the wind blew it and it turns over a few times, it is part of the divine plan. It's not just because that's what nature will do, it's part of the plan. It's not only that God had a plan to have a wind blow. No, that particular leaf moving in that particular way is all part of the divine plan. And not only is it part of the divine plan specifically, it's actually part of the whole puzzle of creation. The whole puzzle of creation only fits with that little event of a leaf turning over. That's wow. That's crazy. So here's a little story that happened to me last Friday that expresses this idea. So I get a call. There's a Jewish man in the Hornsby Hospital that would like a visit from a rabbi. So I go visit him, and he tells me, he's in his early 50s. He has very little connection to the Jewish community. His parents came from the old Soviet Union, so their knowledge of Judaism wasn't great. He moved to Emu Plains for a while. Not many Jews there. He had non-Jewish friends. He says, but October 7th hit him between the eyes, and he started waking up to the fact that what does it mean that he's different. To the extent that just lately one of his so-called good friends gave him a "you people." You people, in other words, you Jews. This is meant to be my good friend. Like, I saw that there is no barrier, there is no distinction, and here you're calling me you people. And that really hurt him. So he says, I got to find out what this is. I need to find out what being Jewish is. For his bar mitzvah, he didn't really have a bar mitzvah. He had a bar mitzvah party, but he didn't have anything in a synagogue or anything like that. And so but he says, now I really want to know what it means to be Jewish, what it is. And so I came and I explained to him about tefillin. I put on tefillin with him for the first time in his life. And he was really inspired by it and really elevated. And he told me that he was walking in Oxford Street and he saw a kipa, he saw a yarmulke rolling in the street. So he picks it up and it said Jewish house. And so when he wanted to connect to Judaism, wanted to connect to a rabbi, the only thing he knew was his yarmulke. He had a yarmulke that says Jewish house. This is a sign from God. He put on the yarmulke on his head. And he found the Jewish house number and he called him. And then Rabbi Castell calls me to tell me about him. And I go and I was able to visit him. So here you have it. The yarmulke. Someone lost it. Someone dropped it. He might have thought, oh, shucks, I like that yarmulke. Or what happened to the yarmulke I had? He might have had a little bit of frustration. Not realizing and knowing that another Jew is going to walk by, going to pick up the yarmulke, and that's going to be his address for how he will ultimately be able to plug back into his Jewish roots and his Jewish soul. Because that's exactly what he's doing now. He's re-engaging, he's reconnecting, he's involving again with his Yiddishkeit. Because someone dropped the yarmulke on Oxford Place, and he found it. So the yarmulke was turning in the wind, just like the Baal Shem Tov says about the leaf turning in the wind, and that had a massive purpose to bring a Jew back to his people and his family. Shabbos.